Okay, because it's kind of hard to take attendance this way. What I would love everyone to do is in the chat, could you please type your name? And that's how I'm going to do attendance. So if you can, in the chat, type your name. Perfect. And that's how I'm going to take attendance. Perfect. Thank you. I can see all the names popping up, which is awesome. That way I can then look through it and I know who is here today. All right. So as people are typing in their names, today's class, it's probably not going to be the full period today. So we'll probably wrap up a little bit earlier. It was just, I didn't want us to miss out on a chance for all of us to be together, hopefully 32 of us to be together for class, which is awesome. Okay. Yes, sorry, and I've got to use your I'm still learning everyone's names. So yes, Tyler R.
Rosanna, sorry to interrupt. Last night I already finished off the assignment of healthy relationships.
Yep. If you remember from Tuesday's class when I mentioned about the assignment, because we actually meet in the small group. So when your assignments are due, it's probably going to be on the Tuesday. You'll have a whole week to do it. So I will definitely take a look at all those. If you haven't had a chance to work on it, don't worry. You still have some time to do it. So no worries. No worries. Yeah, and I know we're all kind of getting back into that school thing as well. So no worries. Yes, Nicholas.
I don't know if this was part of the assignment or if it was part of the other class I'm in with Jennifer. It was like a 3-question one, and then you had to answer like questions, unless that's not you.
What were the questions?
It was like relationship, like name some people you would be in a relationship, like your brother.
Right. Yes. Okay, yeah, so that would have been for me.
Okay, so I finished all that.
Yep, perfect. You don't need to let me know. I can always go in and check. And again, if you haven't had a chance to finish it up yet, no worries.
No, I was just making sure it was your homework. That's
okay. All. Kelvin?
During the first day 2 days ago, when I received the relationship 3 questions, I answered it and I submitted it.
Yep. Perfect. As I mentioned, you don't need to let me know on Zoom. I can absolutely go and check later on. And again, if you haven't done it yet, no need to panic or anything. It's there. You can get it done. Have until Tuesday is just to give me an idea where we're at. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. Today, I wanted to get a chance for all of us to get together. I'm going to share a little bit more in detail about some of the things that we're going to be learning in this class. And then I have some questions for you and it helps me with planning for the class. So I forgot to mention, if you have a second device, like if you have your phone with you, if you have a tablet, that would be great. If you don't, that's okay. That's okay. You know, we can also do some hands and everything like that as well. All right. So let's get started. Let's start with something a little bit more fun. You have now been here for you've been in college now for 3 days, and then you had you had some workshops last week. So kind of getting back into the swing of school. Can everyone see my pictures? I love cats. Actually, I love all animals.
Kitty. I have a cat.
But yeah. I love cats. We have a cat here. Sometimes, right now, she's enjoying the sun in the other rooms, but sometimes over the winter, she will make an appearance in our classes. So just thought I'd ask you, and you can put it in the chat, on a scale of cat, how are you feeling today? And you can take a look at the different pictures. Maybe you're feeling kind of like this cat, or this cat, number 2, or maybe it's like, oh my God, number 3 cats. Number 4 looks a little angry. Number 5 looks a little like they've had too much
He
to
got
drink or
drunk.
maybe to eat. Number 6 looks pretty happy. Number 7 looks tired. Number 8 looks really mad. And number 9 looks like, all right, I need something to make me happy. I know they have pictures of alcohol here. For me, it'd be some chocolate. I would love that. All right, so add them in the chat. Let's see how everyone is feeling. All right, we got some 3s, we got some 8s, 9s, 5s. Everybody's all over the place. I love it.
Wait, Rosanna, what do I do on the phone? Do I go on the...
Not yet. I haven't told you about the phone yet. Right now, just in the chat, if you can share with me how you're feeling
Rosanna,
on a scale of cat.
Rosanna.
Yes, Calvin.
When I'm on the look at the chat, I can only type chat to you privately.
Yes.
Only.
Yes.
I can't type to someone else.
No, you cannot. I have changed that setting. Right now, everything is coming to me.
Yeah, because I can't even type to everyone because I can only see your name on it.
Yeah, you're only going to be typing to me right now.
What does number 9 mean? I can't tell what number 9 means.
Number 9, the person's kind of looking like, you know what? I'm just kind of like there. Maybe I need a little bit of something to make me feel better. Maybe I'm hungry. Maybe I'm thirsty.
He's having a fiesta.
He's having a fiesta. Absolutely. All right.
It's like that cat's taking a vacation.
All right. I'm going to stop sharing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For getting us started in this way. Okay. And yes, if you do have a second device, I will be asking you to grab that out in a little bit, but not right now. Not right now. So this class, as I mentioned, is called Healthy Relationships and Sexuality. And these are one of the classes that I usually like because we have our small group sessions. I really like it when we have a chance to all get together and review the material in a big group. So normally what will probably happen once we get learning into the content is when we are in our big groups like this, make sure you bring a second device if you have one, because we're going to probably do a lot of activities and a lot of games just to review to make sure we understand the content. So on Tuesday, I kind of went over some of the content, but I thought I'd just go over it in a little bit more detail just to make sure everybody understands what we're going to be doing in this class. So this is the Healthy Relationships class. So when we think about relationships, and that's one of the reasons why I asked you sorry, and I'm also monitoring the chat and I'm also monitoring the weight room at times. So you'll see me kind of doing that every once in a while. But one of the reasons I asked you to fill out that Google form for me was I just wanted to know what you thought about what relationships are. And what kind of relationships do you have in your life? That's what we're going to start with. So next week, when we meet in our small groups on Tuesday, that's what we're going to start with. We're going to start talking a little bit about relationships. What does it mean? Why is it important? Why do we have relationships in our lives? I don't know if people have heard the word we're social beings. What does that mean? Like, why do we have, other people in our lives? And why is that important? And we're going to talk about different types of relationships we have in our lives. After that, the first relationship we are going to be learning about is the relationship with ourselves. I know oftentimes we think about relationships with other people, but we have to remember we have a relationship with ourselves. So the next topic after that is we're going to be talking a little bit about our identity and self-esteem. Sorry, I see someone's hands up. Shivam, yes. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question, Rosanna.
Yes.
I have a question for a town hall.
Oh, okay. If it's a question for town hall, can you hold on to that for a second?
Okay.
And I'll answer it at the end. I'll explain. I'll remind everyone about town hall at the end of class. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Great. All right. So after that, after talking about the relationship with ourselves, usually we talk about relationship with friends, but we actually have a course next semester that we're going to be talking about friendship and in that. So then what we're going to start talking about is what happens when we move from friends to partners. And we're going to talk a little bit more
Sorry
about
now.
romantic relationships. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And that's when we're going to start introducing ourselves to sexuality. And what does that mean? So what does sexuality mean? You are all adults. And this is, I feel, a really, really important topic for you to be aware of. We're going to share information for you so you as an adult get to make a decision that's best for you. So we'll start talking a little bit about puberty. We're going to talk about body parts. And then we will also talk a little bit about the decision about making sex, about having sex. And again, that topic, I know that day everybody's like, oh, what are we going to be talking about? Again, it's information
Yes.
for you so that you can make the best choice for yourself,
Yes.
right? You are
Good.
all adults, so
Good.
you will be able to make that choice. Yes, Kelvin.
And you know, for many years, I watched different types of shows and movies that shows about this. Every time I see it, I'm starting to think too much about it. What it's like when relationships are like broken, and what kind of decision they have made in their relationship. This is what I keep thinking too much about. What it's like when losing a relationship, and how painful it is.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? We're going to talk a little bit about what works best for you. So that's why my job is to share this information with you, right? Because the information is there, but it is your decision what you want to do. And someone's decision, I'm just going to pick a random person, Kiara's decision about what she wants to do in her life can be very different from Pravin. And that's okay. But my job as an educator is to share that information with you. All right, I'm just going to go through a few more. And then Victoria, I see that your hand's up. So give me 1 sec. We're also going to be talking about safety. And we're also going to be talking about safety when it comes to a healthy body. Right? So what does that mean? How do we keep ourselves safe? And what does a healthy body mean? And we're going to talk a little bit about cancers. And for men, we're going to talk a little bit more about the male, what I call the male and female cancer. So men, you'll be getting to learn a little bit about testicular cancer, prostate cancer. Ladies, we'll be talking a bit about breast cancer, and we're going to be talking about cervical cancer, a little bit about that, and what can we do to make sure that we're healthy with our body when it regards to those kind of cancers. We're also going to be talking about consent. Now, you may have already learned a bit about consent. Consent is huge here at college. We talk a lot about it. We actually have a workshop, and someone's going to be coming in to talk about consent and the importance of that. And yeah, so that's kind of what the overall topic is about. Hold on 1 second. I got a few more people coming in. And as I'm doing that, Victoria, yes, you have a question.
I was just wondering, for this healthy relationship and sexuality course, is there like a form we have to fill out, like giving, like saying that, oh, it's okay that we want to do this class like we had to in high school?
Nope, there's no form. This is actually part of our curriculum, which means that it is something that is part of you or part of the CICE program that you do need to do in order to pass. We do talk about, because I know some of the topics, and especially it's kind of, I'll be honest, it's a little bit weird in a way to do it online. Because usually this class, obviously we do it in person. The nice thing is it's online, so you're at home.
Yeah.
So there's that kind of safety. But it is kind of weird because we're talking about some pretty personal information. So that part we don't ask for a signature on, but we do talk about ways that if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're not sure of the topic, what can you do about it? Right? Like when we get closer to that topic, I will talk a little bit more about what we can do. So some people may feel uncomfortable and say, you know what, I'm just going to turn off the camera. I'm just going to, you know, I'm just going to turn off the camera. I just need to step away from a bit, because I've had that done in class. And some students were talking about something and they're like, you know what, this is making me a little uncomfortable. I'm just going to step outside of class for now, and then I'll come back. It is still the content that we have to talk about, which
Yes.
means that it is on our Blackboard site. So it's still important that you go and review, but we will talk about it and be able to help you with support in terms of, you know, if you're feeling uncomfortable with the topic. The nice thing is you also have facilitators to talk with. They know when this topic is coming up. And so if you're feeling uncomfortable, just so you know, again, we don't start right away with this topic. We are working up to it.
Oh.
So our first topic is just talking about relationships and talking about not sexuality, sorry,
Yes.
talking about self-esteem, right?
Yeah.
We have that for the first little while to get into that. All right. Does that help, Victoria? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it does. Thanks so
Okay.
much, Rosanna.
No problem. Okay. So I am curious. So I am going to try to do, I was hoping to do it on Zoom, but unfortunately it wouldn't let me. So I have to call in another app. Sorry, I'm all tangled here.
Go ahead. No. Take your time.
Okay, so this is when I'm going to ask you to grab your second device. And what we're going to do is I'm going to do a Mentimeter. And we already did one. We did one when we first met. Remember I asked you about how your summer was and everything. So I am going to pull up my Mentimeter, and then if you remember, I'll give you the code, and I have some questions there for you. So I'm going to get that going. Okay,
So what do we type in on Safari?
Yeah, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna, I had to call it up for myself. Okay, so it will appear in the chat. Okay, so what you're gonna type in is www.menti.com. And then the code you're gonna type in is 805682221. 805682221.
Wait, www dot
Menti,
menti.
MENITI
Oh, here.
.com. All
And then
right.
what's the code again?
It's right in the chat. So it is, hold on.
Oh, now. Okay, thank you. So easy.
It is 805682221. So my Menti screen is up. You can see it right on the top. You can see my arrow kind of circling it here. So again, this is just helping me to learn, what do you know already? And if you don't know, that's okay. That's okay. This helps me in terms of, you know, what kind of information do I want to share, or do I need to share with you? All right. So my first question to you is, I have taken a class about human relationships before. So you may have talked about friendships. You may have talked about boundaries. Maybe you talked about the social circle. You may have talked about romantic relationships. So I'm just kind of curious, how many of you have taken a class such as this before? So I have, the answers could be, yes, I have, or no, I've never done this before, or I don't know, I can't remember. You know, I've done so many classes in school, I can't remember. So I'm just kind of curious how many people have taken these classes. All right, so far we have about a split. We have about 10 of you who've said yes, you have. 9 of you, so there's no names on this, so I have no idea who's, so feel free to be really honest. All right, and it's saying about 10 of you saying no, you never have. You got 2 who's like, I can't remember, which is okay. All right. How are we doing here? Now, a few people are still
Yes.
typing in that, which is okay. Which is absolutely okay. Right, we got 23 answers. There's about 31. I know a few of you may not. So if you do not have a second device, if you want to type it in the chat, yes, I've taken this class. Just say yes if you've taken this class. If you've never done a class in high school about human relationships, type in no. So if you don't have a second device, just type it in the chat for me.
Okay.
All right, because I know not everyone has a second device. That's okay. Sorry, I got to do some rearranging of my screen so that I can see my chat. Right. So we got a few people saying yes, a few people more saying no. It's pretty much a split in between. Okay, that's good. That again, that really, really helps me. All right. Okay, let me try. I know I have 2 slides here. Can never figure out how to get to the next slide. So give me a second. Okay. I think, it went weird on me. Hold on. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Let's see. Does it change it? You shouldn't have to type it again, but did it change the question for you?
Yes, it did.
Okay,
Yes, it did,
perfect.
yes.
So my next question for you again is, I have learned about consent, right? So yes, you have learned about consent. No, I've never learned about consent, or I don't know. I don't know. And again, if you have, if you don't have a second device, I'm going to just type the question in here and you can answer it in the chat as well.
Miss, what do you mean? What does it mean?
What does consent mean? It means giving permission.
Oh, okay.
Giving permission. So usually it's giving permission when we're talking about relationships.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to need hands up because there's so many people here, so I'm not sure who's calling me. Let's see. Do I see a hand up? Okay. I don't see a hand up. Mayen, yes.
What if it's in the middle?
What is it in the middle? Meaning you learned a little bit?
Yeah, and
Oh, okay. That's okay. Then type in yes. Type in yes. That's okay. I'm still going to go over it, but this again helps me so that I know, you know, how much information I'm going to share. Like, do I need to go into a lot of detail? Because people are like, yeah, I already kind of know about it. And I'm like, great, you know, here's the introduction. We can keep going. Or are there people like, oh, I don't know what this is. And I'm like, okay, so let's take it a little bit slower. So this again helps me. That's fantastic. You know what? Consent is such an important topic. And it makes me really happy to see right now. I see 14 on my little Menti slide that people have learned, plus a few other people in the chat has shared that they have learned about it. So that's fantastic. Yes, we still have some people who've never learned and some people who just can't remember right now. That's okay. But it's wonderful to know that it has been shared with you. Wonderful. Okay. I have another question for you, but I have to close this. You're going to have to type into a new Menti. So hold on 1 second.
Oh.
This only allowed me to do 2 slides. So I have to do another. So I have to do another slide. So give me a second. You guys can see me all puttering away here. Let me get my second one up and running, and I will share with you the code for this one. Okay, and again, I don't see your names. Please be honest. Okay, so let me type it in here. into the chat so everyone can see. Again, you're going to type in so you have to get out of that Menti and you're going to go back into menti.com, but the code this time you're going to type is 4248957, right? And the question is, I know the proper names, proper names of my private body parts. Okay, I know the proper names. So not the slang names, right? Not the nicknames that you might be using for body parts. Just want to make sure how many people do know the proper names of their body parts, right? Because if we're going to be talking about healthy body, I want to make sure we're knowing, everybody knows what the proper names are. Excellent. Oh, this is, again, makes me really happy to see that people know the proper names of their body parts. Right? So I'm seeing, can everyone see it? We see it like 11. There's a few who don't, and that's okay. That's okay. There's a few people who are not sure. In my chat, I can see a few people again saying yes, they do know the names. That's fantastic. Okay, so I know the proper names or the medical names, right? The official names of my private body parts. Perfect. I see that a lot of people are saying yes in the chat to me as well, and more coming in this way. Fantastic. Mayan, your hand is still up. Is it from the question from before? Or do you have a new question? Pardon me?
No.
No, you're okay? Okay, awesome. Excellent. Everything is coming in. That's fantastic.
This is just like taking a vote.
It is like taking a vote, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is excellent. This is, again, this is helpful to me. This is so helpful to me because when I'm planning and when I'm teaching, then I know, what are some of the backgrounds that people have in terms of what information they have. All right. Okay. I have one more question. Okay, and I have to do that weird thing again. I'm gonna stop it because I don't know how to get to the next slide. Oh, maybe I can do it here. I have no idea. I have to learn how to do that. Okay. I'm going to go to the next one. And so I'm hoping, again, did the question change?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the question for you is, I've done a self-breast exam. That would be for the ladies. And for the gentlemen, I've done a self-testicular exam.
Don't you have to be like 24 to do that?
Nope.
No? Oh.
Nope. Right? So so gentlemen, obviously you probably are not doing a self-breast exam. The question is, have you done a self-testicular exam? And then ladies, it is the self-breast exam. Have you done one of these before? All right. Oh, let me type it in here again. My question is that. So I see question of Fadila. What is that? So the exams are ways to detect for lumps that might be in your breast or might be in your testicles. Right? Because if you find a lump, you want to then get it checked out. It could be breast cancer, worst case scenario, breast cancer, testicular cancer. So one of the first steps is how do I do that myself? Is it painful? No, not at all.
Then what do you do when you're older, like that test?
What do you do? That's something that.
Never mind.
That's okay. That's okay. All right, I'm going to put it in the chat again. Have you ever done a self-breast exam or a self-testicular exam?
Because I was thinking of the one where they like, yeah.
Well, there's the one with the machine for the ladies for a breast exam, and it's called a mammogram. And yes, that one is usually done when you're a lot older. So that one probably, if I'd asked, if that was a question for you, most of you probably would not have done it. But what they're encouraging people to do when they're younger is to do what's called a self-breast exam. Same thing with the testicular exam for gentlemen. They ask you to start checking and practicing being comfortable with what you feel like, what is normal for you for your testicles, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about that because I feel it's a really important information for that you to know. You can decide what works best for you. But I feel it is important that for you to know, because it is something that is encouraged for all young adults to start doing. Right? So that's one of the things we're going to be talking about in terms of keeping ourselves healthy. All right. So self-breast exam, self-testicular exam. We have one person who has. We have at this point 16 who have never done that before. That's okay. That's okay. And there was some questions, no's in the chat as well. And then some people who, I don't know. And because you may not know exactly what it is, and we can explain that when we get to that topic. All right. Anybody else? Let's see anybody else popping up here? Nope, I think we've got all of them. All right.
Where's Talila?
Thank you so much for sharing that information with me. That is going to be helpful for me when I am planning. So that's kind of what I wanted to do today, is to give you a little bit more of a breakdown about what we're going to be doing. We're going to start off with discussing about relationships, and we're going to start off talking about that relationship with ourselves in regards to our self-esteem. So we'll be starting with that. On Tuesdays, will be more of the small group, kind of going over those lecture notes. When we are together, everyone together on Thursdays, I'll probably be doing some games just to kind of practice. You guys are getting really good at the Mentimeter, which is fantastic. I saw someone had asked about, in Kahoot. I said, oh yes, we do a lot of Kahoots as well. So, and it's a nice way for everyone still to see each other as well, because I know in the smaller groups, you don't always get a chance to see each other. So this is a nice way to still be able to meet some of your other peers in the other group as well. All right. So at this point, does anyone have any questions about healthy relationships? All right. Kelvin, yes.
So, about healthy relationships. So what can they do to like keep their relationship stable?
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that in terms of what makes a good relationship, what makes a toxic or a bad relationship. So we're going to talk about that in class. That's definitely something we're going to talk about.
Rosanna, Rosanna, when the relationship is broken, there's a word called divorce, break up, these two. And I know there's also another word called disown. If a child is disowned by parents, what does that mean?
Right. We're not going to actually talk about those specific types of words. Like I don't need to define them, but just so that you know, because you did ask. So disown usually means a relationship between two family members, and you decide that one of the family members, you just don't want to have any contact with them anymore.
Does that mean to kick them out of the house?
It could mean that. It could also mean like you just don't speak to them anymore. Yeah. Yeah. Right. But what we want to talk about more than is what can we do to know about a good relationship, how to keep a healthy relationship, and what does that look like? Victoria, see that your hand's up.
My question is, for this course, you know how you say we're gonna have assignments and stuff? Are we expected to complete it on our own, or can we, like, if we build friendships with like other people, our classmates, are we allowed to work on it together, or does it have to be independent work?
Okay, that's actually a really, really good question. Yes, you could work on it with another, like you can work on it together. The key thing is if the assignment is supposed to be handed in individually, it should still look like, even though you might discuss the same answer, I mean, if you're writing a sentence, it shouldn't be exactly the same, right? So I need to make sure that it's still your work and it's still your friend's work. The nice thing also is, because we're online, sometimes it means connecting. You might have to set up a Zoom meeting to work together. You can also work on it with your facilitator as well. So yes, you can work on it with others. Okay. All right. Mayen, I saw your hand up again. Is that from before? Do you have a question?
It was from before.
From before. Okay, let me see if I know how to, I'm going to lower the hand so that we don't get confused. Shivam, you have a question.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I have a question for the Blackboard, for your access for the Blackboard, it is the same, or it is you have different access for the Blackboard?
Different
access for the Blackboard.
Different access for the Blackboard. Okay.
For you.
Okay, so Blackboard, I'll talk a little bit more about that also with Town Hall, and I'll explain that, but just for everyone, when you log into Blackboard the first time, and when you go, I think when you went and did your intro to Blackboard, there's a section that you go to courses, and all your courses are there. So yes, there is a Blackboard site for each of your courses, but it's the same login. So you log in once, and then you will see all your courses, and then you can choose the course that you need to go into. Okay, so for healthy relationships, all my information will be healthy relationships. For Jennifer's class, for professional skills, everything will be in professional skills. Okay, hold on one second, Jordan. If you put your hand, can you raise your hand? And then that way I know, because I have a few other people who have some questions as well. Okay. All right. Fadila. Oh, I think you have to unmute.
Do we have to be online tomorrow for the town hall or no?
Okay, I will answer that question. I'm going to hold off on that one. I'm going to talk a little bit about town hall in a sec. Okay. All right, Nicholas, question.
This isn't town hall. I was gonna say about Be Well session. What's that?
Okay. Okay, so hold on to that question for the town hall, okay? Because that way I can answer
that's
all
called
second.
town
Is
hall?
that okay?
Yeah, no, I just didn't know it was part of town hall, because then there's social as well.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Jordan, I know you have your hand up.
I couldn't get the link into the thing today. The Blackboard. I couldn't get it.
Okay, that's something that is really important. I'll probably talk about it again in town hall. So messages for your classes are now going to start coming from, it looks like it comes from my email, looks like it comes from Jennifer's email, but it's not. It actually comes from Blackboard, and Blackboard is connected to whatever email you signed up, or you like when you applied, that's the email that is connected to what we call our My Humber sites. So you will want to check, you may want to check with your facilitator to see what your email is, because if it's being sent to your support people, that means all the messages are being sent to them right now. And if you want it for yourself, you have to go onto the My Humber site to change it. We can't do it from our end. So you'll want to check. So what I would recommend, rather than saying, oh, Rosanna, can you just check right now? Connect with your facilitator to find out what the email is. If you're getting it, if you're seeing it, it's on your account, you're good. But if you're like, don't seem to be getting it, you may want to check to make sure that the email that Humber has for you is the right one. One, maybe we typed it in wrong. So maybe it's that's why you're not getting anything. Or two, it could be going to your support person. And so you want to make sure that if you want it for yourself, then absolutely. Some families, some students may want to have it going to their support person. That's your choice. But the thing is, it means that any kind of messages, they need to make sure they send it to you right away. Right? It's because all Humber messages will be going to that email. So you want to check that. All right. All right. So let me just quickly chat about Town Hall, because I know a few of you have questions about it. As I mentioned, Town Hall is going to be a time for students to be able to ask questions. And it's also for me to share important information. So questions like the Be Well workshop, right? Fantastic question. But I'm going to answer it in Town Hall because we'll also have our second years are invited to that as well. So that way I can share it with everybody all at once. So it's kind of like this big announcement day. I'm going to just do it. It's almost like I'm going to do it live. I'm going to talk a little bit about the program. If there's any program news, program updates, I can share then. And then it also gives you a chance to ask questions as well. All right. So Town Hall is happening tomorrow. I have not emailed out the link because I know that you've been getting a lot of Zoom links, but I will be sending it out by the end of the day today. So please check your emails, check your support person emails, because I will be sending it out through Blackboard. I will be sending it out through Blackboard. So check those emails to make sure that it is coming to where you want to be able to get these links and to get your messages for your classes. All right. I've also, if you remember, in healthy relationships in week 1, I think it's the 4th folder, review after class, there is a Google form there. You can click on if you have questions for Town Hall. If you're already like, oh, you know what, I just want to make sure that I get this question down before because Rosanna might be really busy and I won't be able to ask her live. You can type those questions in. I'm going to print them out so that I can make sure I answer them when I am in Town Hall as well. So you can also kind of ask questions beforehand using that link if you'd like, that Google form. So the other question I think was, do I have to be there? No, you don't have to be there. It is optional, which means it's your choice if you would like to go. It is not a class time. It is just a time for me to share information. If you're feeling like, you know what, I'm okay. I think, I've got everything. I'll check, I'll make sure I record the session, and you might say, oh, you know what, I'll check the recording a little bit later. That's okay. I don't have any questions myself. I'll listen to what everyone says afterwards. You don't have to come. But if you're like, no, I kind of want to know, I might have a question and I'm kind of curious and I might want to meet the second years, you're more than welcome to come. All right. Town Hall does not happen every week, only when there are question times. So, I'm having one this week. I'm not sure if we'll have one next week. We'll see how many questions kind of pop up over the week. And then after that, probably the next one will be in sometime in October when it's time to start paying for your winter tuition. That way I can share with everyone, remind people that it's time to pay tuition, and I can do a big town hall to explain that. So town hall does not happen every week. Okay. Kelvin, I see your hand up.
Will you record it?
Hold on one second. Kelvin?
Rosanna, and the town hall, I can also ask questions about how to submit assignment when.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Absolutely. I think someone asked if I'm going to record town hall. Yes, I'm going to record town hall. And Victoria, you asked midterm marks and when is reading week. I'm going to hold off on that, because that's a great town hall question, because our second years may also have questions about reading week. All right.
And the time is still the same, 8:55 in the morning.
Hasn't changed, 8:55.
I think I have class.
Okay. Some of you may have already another class at that time, and that's okay. You may have a meeting with your facilitator. That's okay. That's why it is not mandatory. Okay. It is not mandatory. All right, I'm going to wrap it up now. If anyone has any more specific questions, I can stick around for about 5 more minutes before class is officially done. So in case anyone has any more questions, others, if you don't have any questions, you're more than welcome to go. Kelvin and hold on, I've got a request. Give me 1 second. Kelvin and is Musi here? Yes,
I don't know.
Kelvin and Musi, if you don't mind sticking around, I just want to do a follow-up from your facilitator. So don't leave yet. So Kelvin and Musi, don't leave yet. Anyone else who is done, if you need to leave, you are more than happy to hit end. If anyone else has a question, you can stick around as well. All right.
See you Tuesday.
All right. So
Bye,
if you're not
everyone.
in town hall, I will
Weekend.
see
Bye,
you
everyone.
on Tuesday.
Bye.
Otherwise, I'll see you at town hall.
Bye.
Kelvin and Musi, if you can please
Bye.
stay.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bye.
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 All right.
Rosanna,
Have a great weekend. All right.
I have a question for you, Rosanna.
Bye, Ro. Oh.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Just very quickly, Kelvin and Musi, have you gotten a message from your facilitator?
I got the junk mail from Karen.
Okay, it's not junk mail. She's your facilitator and she really wants to chat with you. So can you respond to that email so that she knows that you got it?
I have her junk mail from Karen.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. Yeah, it might have gone in the junk mail, but it's not junk mail. From Karen, it's that she's your facilitator. Really important that you connect with her.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Oh.
then Musi, have you? I know your mic is off right now, but I'm just curious. Have you heard from Karen as well? Yeah. So you have heard. Can you respond to her
Yeah.
email? Oh, perfect, Musi. Thank you. Can you respond to her email? Can you hit reply and say hi? Because she hasn't heard from you and she was just worried she hadn't heard from you.
Rosanna.
Okay.
Okay.
Rosanna.
That would be great, Musi. Yes, Kelvin.
So you want me to reply to Karen and tell her something?
Yeah, just say hi. I got your email. That would be awesome.
And what do I say when